Hello and welcome to the CRO Podcast with your hosts, myself, Courtney, and this here as well.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. We're co-founders of the CRO agency and manage the CRO network.
Yes, and today we're going to discuss counterintuitive optimization and common misconceptions that people do have when making landing pages. Then we're moving on to the wall of fame and shame, and we're diving into health and safety compliance, which is quite an interesting industry, really, with relatively high amounts of lead generation activity, which I think in and of itself is probably counterintuitive for a lot of people.
Fascinating.
It works well. It works
Yeah.
well.
We know some people who've dabbled in it themselves.
Yeah.
So it's, Anyway, crack on.
So what we're looking at is sort of a few different topics, like more content, fewer questions, additional user journeys, high quality content, and channel and source. Do these matter? Do they not? Like, what are we getting into? So without further ado, let's begin. And I think one of these ones, this is something that we actually come across a lot in our line of work and with clients of ours. We're currently running a test that is winning based on this. But basically, it's the idea that more content is better and more content will persuade the user. From your visceral reaction, I think we could start with you because you got thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Yes. I think a big caveat we'll make throughout all of this is that the channel and the source and the marketing strategy behind it really does matter. And so kind of depending, we're going to give this mainly a lens from Meta. And actually, this is largely true in most cases. There are cases where this is not true, particularly very high intent traffic. Google, some really expensive Google PPC traffic, sort of, and some SEO traffic and things like that. So it's not always necessarily true, but yeah, we see again and again that people, these landing pages, they write these really long ones, they add all this content in order to try to persuade the user. And we are here to tell you it is not effective. It is a really common misconception. It's this idea that, by writing the best content, really good content can help in other contexts, but more content will not persuade the user. That is not why they are not converting.
Yeah, 100%. I think that the fear is that you want to try and convince them as much as possible. And really good lead generation isn't about convincing them of anything. It's about sort of making that decision process easier.
Yeah.
So we're providing a relevant and an easy kind of journey for them to go through. It's not about, I'm going to force you down here because look at how good this is and I have to convince you. And if you've got your form that you have that you're pushing people down, and then underneath that you have just an absolute sort of essay and whether this content is good or not, that really doesn't matter. It's probably, first of all, not going to get read. If it does get read, you're pulling people away from the journey. So they're sort of losing sight. More information could just get confusing. They don't know what they're doing, and then it'll actually lead to them bouncing. So really, more content is not necessarily more. Less is more is very much in keeping here with this idea of a very, a nice sort of cohesive funnel.
Yeah. I definitely, you're right there. Less is more. A lot of what we do is just edit things down. You want to boil down the true essence of it. Rather than the paragraph, write a sentence. That people read the sentence, particularly if it's better pointed out, or bolded, but they're not going to read the paragraph, then it's not going to be persuasive. And again, this is, again, very counterintuitive, and it goes against a lot of marketing, which is there to educate people and show them this and do that. And unfortunately,
this whole idea of storytelling, I think, is a huge one in sales and in marketing. It's we're telling a story and we've got all of this and we want you to be on board with this story and understand. But that's very much, again, that's designing for the company and not designing for the user.
Yeah. The user
whereas when we're in the journey, it just wants the information quickly.
Yeah.
And
easy, convenient.
Only relevant information as well.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell me the backstory. I don't need to know about Oma Gertrude, who started the business and did all of these things, and this is why it's amazing, and this is why it's family oriented. This is all too much. And at that point in the funnel, it's just honestly going to be more harmful to conversion than it is going to be helpful.
I think a really helpful way to think about this is a good user journey will nearly always trump good content. However, you can in fact have both. We saw this again and again with these really high consideration products such as hair loss, weight loss, like
Mm.
all these ones, and they have these very, very long funnels that ask information about you. They reinforce things. They tell you things. They deliver as much information as like a big old article is going to do, but it does it sequentially, and it does it while engaging you, and it does it like as if your opinion matters, as if it's very clear what you need. You just need to like answer this and keep going. And that is a really effective way to persuade users and lead them through it. But what you shouldn't be doing is like, oh God, my conversion rate is really bad. What I need to do is rewrite the content on the page, or like add more this or do that. It's like it's almost certainly not what you need to do. The golden rule is get people into the funnel, and so get them in, and then you can deliver them content in the funnel. You can do this, you can do that, but get them into the funnel. Anything that distracts users from the funnel and the user journey is very unlikely to be a meaningful addition. Admittedly, there is this idea of trading a conversion rate for lead quality, and having the content it does harm it harms CVR. I've not seen super compelling evidence that improves lead quality substantially. It's very hard to do well, and it's very hard to like get the right kind of content that's going to end up to a positive trade on the value margin. So it's like, I think it's a very risky approach. And again, there are much safer, easier way to like get them into the funnel, add friction there, add the content, have a cool consent question. Again, there are genuinely far more effective ways of doing this. And again, this is why you see on these big competitor brands, another one, Lemonade, killing it, a web funnel journey instead of pages of information about insurance. This is how, if you want to be world-class, that's what you don't. You don't add more content, you add a clearer user journey. So yeah, this also comes from a lot of counterintuitive testing. That's the whole point. Like, this stuff is discovered by people who thought, maybe, what's best practice in everyone else's heads isn't really what's most effective in the real world. So yeah, we always, and this is the whole theme of today's podcast is, be ready to challenge these assumptions. Be ready to be wrong yourself. Oh my God, we're wrong all the time. It's not great, but,
the data even backs up that we're wrong.
Yeah, thankfully,
scientifically proven. But we are also right. So take that with a grain of salt. But we've definitely seen that, and I think veering away from just adding content for the sake of adding content just to try and convince it's not where you should be. It's not what you should be doing.
Yeah, it's not what drives people.
Exactly.
They're not, particularly, I will say this explicitly, if you're running social media traffic, do not make someone then read a page. Like, it will do poorly. Just like, I really mean that very, very strongly. It's probably the highest spend channel for most businesses. Just don't do it. And even like Google, and nearly always it's better to drive them to a form that has lots of information in the form, rather than just having a big old static thing. Like, it's just, one's the future, one's the past. You may pick which playground you want to play in. And admittedly, if it's not broken, fine. But one is the future and one is the past.
Yeah. Which then moves us into questions and details. Like, if we are thinking future and past, we are thinking of like static forms and what kind of information is asked on that. Quite often, you'll have a static form that'll immediately be asking for name, number, email address, like contact details. And if you only have a few questions, again, you're getting very quickly to those really detailed questions, instead of kind of having that sort of warm-up period and just sort of asking and doing that. And thoughts, feelings, emotions on those ones.
Yeah. Again, we do see this again often when people are having issues with their, they've done the multi-step form. Good on them. They are part of the future. I don't know why I'm being so judgy about this today. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I clearly am. But you do see it, and so what often, they'll have, the questions that some people often slip up on, and to improve or like to have like, let's have highest conversion rate. Most people are like, well, right, we're just going to ask one question and then ask the contact details, and we're going to do it like that because that's the fastest journey. It's the easiest journey. It's the most convenient journey in people's head. That is nearly always losing. In fact, generally speaking, the like safe minimum is 3 questions. The reason for that is you want to be able to tailor the value to someone. So by the time you're asking it's like boiling the frog. It's teasing the value. It's in for a penny, in for a pound. By the time you're asking for those contact details, they think that you now have meaningful information to give them a meaningful answer. If you just answer one question, then it's just like a clear, it's like a smash and grab. It's like, oh, so you do this, great, give us this, and then we'll give you your bespoke quote. It's like, how could you
Yeah.
possibly give me anything meaningful off the basis of this one answer? But if you ask
Hmm.
meaningful questions that at least seem meaningful,
Yeah.
much better. So, and you're also like longer question sets. We've
Yeah.
increasingly seen these win, like particularly for high
Yeah.
consideration products or high value products, like these, going well beyond 3 questions, so adding
Yeah.
questions that can be really positive for CVR and for lead quality. So it's a double win. So,
Mm.
yeah, they're
It's
really, really
aligning with
meaningful.
the almost aligning with the expectation that I think the users have, along with also it's a high ticket item. Like you have all of these things that are working together. So then having a short question or having straight up
Mm,
contact details feels incredibly nefarious. Like
yeah,
why, how could this
yeah,
item that is so bespoke and so important, even just like hearing aids, you've got to understand things like age and like you've got to understand the demographic, you've got to understand where they are, or all these things. How can you give me a bespoke quote if you just ask for my name and my number? Like
yeah,
you simply can't.
yeah.
And I think I think it was I think I think it is surprising in some
Mm,
situations to just be like, actually ask more questions. But also, this slots into the sales process. Sales actually have that information that they can, off the back of that, use and then
yeah.
it makes it easier to sell. So it's a win-win for everyone
Every,
involved.
you know, higher contact rate, then higher appointment rate, oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
And quick note on that is, do align with your sales team when you're making these questions. They usually know what objections and what people care about. So it's
yeah,
pretty, admittedly, there are very clear best practices about question sets and things like this, which we've talked about time and time again. Quick highlights would be, clarity, keep it simple, short questions, do make them
yeah,
easy to answer, exhaustive
yeah,
answer options. I have such a pet peeve of seeing these, question one is going to be this really long, hard, long worded question with like all these options and no other, because like, and it's just not exhaustive. And it's just anybody who doesn't want these things can't go down this funnel, or like did none
yeah,
of these speak to them. It's like, just add other and unsure, or don't,
yeah.
particularly for
Make it
question
easier
one.
for everybody involved, for
Yeah.
yourself, and because you just can't speak to everyone potentially. Like you just
Yeah.
need to kind of get them through,
Yeah.
narrow it down, have like the top four, and then or like top three, and then just have other unsure, and then just get
Yeah.
everyone through.
Really,
Done.
it makes a big difference. Again, like people love adding more and more and more answer options, and it just overwhelms the user. Cognitive overload is very real. It means like a lot of hesitation. So when you're designing this, they need to be broad enough buckets that enough people can easily can identify and select them as answer options. However, they also have to be relevant enough that the user will be. So that, like, there is an art to it. Like really, that there's a real art to question sets.
Yeah.
They really do matter, as do the answer sets. But yeah, just keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. It's one
Yeah.
of our sayings.
Keep it super stupid.
Uh,
Um,
Clarity
yeah, make it
is
easy to
vital.
answer, clarity,
Yep.
all of those things. And you're already a step ahead of everybody else. And then when you start A/B testing, and then you can change around the questions
Then you can,
set, and you can change the wording and do all of these things. There's so many tests that you can do based on just question set. It's unbelievable, and it's unbelievable how effective that can actually be. Just swapping two questions around, or just changing the answer option is can be huge. So always worth doing, but for the start, fewer questions or asking for data straight up is definitely not going to
mm.
be a winning way to do it. So you should definitely start by looking into kind of elongating that a bit to make it feel a lot more bespoke, to actually speak to the user and get to know them and just warm them up before they are being asked for contact details.
And one thing which is also very much in that line, and again, just for context of what we're just talking about, we tested something recently. We trimmed down the questions to only it was a really long form. It was I had like
Yeah,
11
it's
questions.
huge.
And we
Yeah,
trimmed it all the way down to just the bare essentials, like, in theory, best practice, 3, maybe 4.
I think it's
And yeah,
four. Yeah,
the test lost. The additional questions were better, like by quite a large margin, because by the time
yeah,
they got to the contact details, they were so happy to. They were like, yeah, like clearly these guys know their stuff. So I get like a
yeah,
well-designed form. Really, it's great. Like I love it. So counterintuitive, so
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, big
yeah.
fan. I'm going to be testing more long question sets, particularly
Yeah,
nowadays.
I
It's like,
think I think having more questions also opens up that kind of idea of, okay, well, what questions are actually going to be relevant to what we're doing as
Mm.
well? Because asking a question for the sake of a question, again, is something that you don't want to be doing. You don't want to make it feel like you're just asking for the sake of it. You want to make it
Yeah.
actually relevant to the product, to the person, to their experience, to
Yeah.
anything like that. So it makes sense. But yeah, no,
Relevant,
it's
easy.
so really, yeah. And it's just so interesting. It's so interesting to see that difference. And again, it's super counterintuitive. You're just like, okay, I didn't think this, but here we are.
Yeah.
Which I think also, I guess, just segueing into the next one, I think is.
I've got more on this one. I've got more on this
Do
one. I'm
you?
sorry.
Oh, have
Yeah, I
you?
do.
Let's do it.
I mean, I think a really important sub point to this one, and again, it's a really, 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 really common thing we see, and we tested again recently, and it lost. So asking all of the contact details in one page, even after multiple questions, then they'll look like, great, okay, now like who we sending the quote to? So name, email, phone number, perfect. They'll allow that. That's how you should do it. Surely that makes people. If you click on it, it auto fills details. Like it's so convenient. And again, this is like this idea of just asking them quickly, like, oh, it's easy. No, split out those contact details. Ask for name, email, phone number. If it's a business name, yada yada yada. Like you must do that. Like we tested again recently. I mean, it lost so much. Like I keep being like, maybe someone is onto something, but I mean, it's just so bad. So like, just ask
it
the question
lost
sequentially. It's like
massively.
a 30% improvement. And like anybody who answers their forms, their things all at once, like it's just losing money.
Yeah.
It
And
really
it's
is.
such an easy fix.
Yeah.
Such an easy fix.
Yeah. And again, so yeah, more questions, because like you go from like one question of like, give us your details, to like 3 of like one, with clicks in between and this, that, the other. Again, it is better. Lead people by the nose, boil the frog. Well, we probably shouldn't prefer to use this as frogs. But
I love frogs. My little
frogs are great. In other news, Hobbiton is doing great, isn't it?
It's my little frog puns for anyone that's not watching me on LinkedIn.
You should be. I mean, it's great content.
Yeah,
it's great content.
It's a wildlife pond, I suppose, but the frogs have moved in, and it's very exciting.
I love
this so much. Can we do like an overlay of like my ponds?
We'll get that. I almost want to go into LinkedIn and open up the post, but no, we will go back to the content. Our regularly scheduled content. The next one, additional user journeys will capture additional demand. Discuss.
Yeah. No, I'd rather just leave that. No, I mean, I think the idea. I understand the logic behind it. I understand the idea behind it. I understand. Hey, we're going through this. They're obviously there is intent there. They have become a lead on this one side of it. So what we'll do is we'll give them another option. Potentially it's related. Fantastic, but it's just fatiguing the user, and I think they feel taken advantage of. And what you're doing is actually you're harming kind of that lead to sale rate of that first journey that they've gone through, because they're going to feel like, well, I don't want to be a part of any of this. And then you'll have people bounce. It's just not something that really is that effective. And people don't want to go through several journeys for all different things. That's something that you could do in like lead nurturing. You've got their details, I've become a lead, and then you're like, hey, I saw you're interested in this, maybe you'd be interested in this. That's a far better way to do it, because you're not sort of doubling down and just overwhelming them immediately.
Yeah, but don't run paid traffic to that. Thank you.
And
sorry. Yes.
You heard it here first.
I think the underlying point there is that it introduces uncertainty to the user. They're like, particularly even at the bottom of the funnel traffic, the most engaged, which is really what we're talking about here. This performance marketing, that's what we want to capture. We're not here for educating. We're not here for branding, guys. Like, this is performance marketing. Welcome. If you have like these multiple potential journeys, should I call sales? Should I book this? Should I do that? They're like, the user has, I don't know which one I should do. Like maybe that one, then maybe that one, I can't do all of them. I don't know. And so at this point, like you've already, pushed away this user by adding this uncertainty. So much of CRO is removing that uncertainty, providing one clear user journey. And you can segment into other sales processes through that user journey and be like, it looks like, you should definitely just talk to sales right now. This is untight or whatever. Like that is reasonable. However, providing like it's been tested on like massive media websites as well. Been tested on loads of lead gen things. I have so incredibly rarely seen two CTAs, like two user journeys, win It is very common in SaaS, I guess, because they have like, do you want to book a demo or do you want to
There
just
are,
get started?
yeah, or just like,
You know,
yeah, exactly. Like sign up for the free trial immediately, or do you want to talk to someone?
which is
I've seen
interesting.
that heaps.
It does like, if I'm honest, I think generally speaking, people would be better served by picking one. But I can, again, in those
Yeah.
scenarios, there are you have, for those broader things, you kind of have to, particularly on like an organic page. Organic page, like it makes sense. Maybe, there's more of an argument. However, very, very rarely does this like, is actually better or winning. It's usually better to just have one funnel and also just from a testing / marketing point of view, so much easier to optimize the hell out of one journey and have a super aligned journey. And like, this is, you can make one journey the best in the world. You will never have you will not be able to make your dual journey offering the best, because it won't be aligned. It won't be so don't provide
Yeah,
this
isn't
user
that like
journey.
Parks and Rec, where Ron Swanson's like, you can either whole ass one thing or half ass like several things, but
Yeah.
and it's kind of that like concept of, yeah, either you focus on one thing and you do it really, really well, or you scatter your attention and you do things half well, and it's sort of just like, don't bother.
I feel very, so I do a little bit behind this. Is I no. I feel very read by that comment right now. We have multiple projects ongoing.
Yeah, but I mean, this is that's
but it is the principle. Like, it's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true. And like sometimes, even though I know that's very true, there are times where you want to do it. But if you're running paid traffic to a page, don't make your user decide. Just like be like, just enter here and we'll find out. We'll tell you. We'll advise you. Just provide one clear user journey. You can find it multiple CTAs later on, depending on what they say and why, if you fancy it. But really, although one thing I will mention in this one, a discrete click to call in like the top right, or just like somewhere like, I don't know, it's like just, a very, mild, like really generally quite a muted journey. That can work. I have seen that work. And also that works well in the US. People are much more inclined just to let, I'll give them a call. Rather than complete the form like that. That's genuinely a thing. So also like geography matters, user journey matters, but nearly always one user journey. And it's a big issue we see where people drive paid traffic to organic pages, which are more designed, they genuinely are more designed to cater to more user journeys because people come from like lots of different sources and they could be
they're
there for
doing their
lots of
discovery and they're just looking. They need to have different journeys. But if you have if you're paying for traffic, you want to pay for them to go down the road that you've built, and you don't want to have them turn off in some sort of, intersection or whatever. I don't know. I don't drive very often.
Yeah.
I get driven. Yeah.
Maybe that's one of the misconceptions we should have, which is like an organic web page is suitable for paid traffic, because I'm telling you, it's not. It makes me it's like my biggest pet
peeve. It never is. There's absolutely no website in the history of websites that is built just their web page, that is good for paid traffic.
They're just different things. They're just different. Like an organic journey and a paid user journey, they are just different things. So if you're running a page thing to like, we've got this really good web page on it, it's got all this information, it's like, just stop and don't.
Yeah.
Just don't.
How about you just don't?
Just send them to a page that has a form, like multi-step form. Like nearly always, if you want to do better, just like run your paid traffic to just a multi-step form. Have no other content on that page. It's dedicated. It's locked. It does not allow people to explore the website. It doesn't even, maybe on the logo, maybe have a click out to the homepage. Open in a new tab though, because you want, they are not leaving this page. You have paid for them to be there.
And I suppose on the thank you page, you can just have them click out to the homepage.
Yeah.
Once
you've got their details, they can go over where they want.
Who cares?
But
off you
really,
go. Off you
don't be lazy and run it to it. I don't care if your tech team's like, we can't build it. They can. Like you can build it. Use Payflow. Like go embed the web component. It's really like genuinely, folks. It's not good enough anymore. Also, Claude can build them for you. So to be fair, you can't just ask Claude to do that.
AI, no code tools, AI. It's all there. It's easy.
Yeah, it's kind of sick. Although again, Hayflow is robust and good, and we would recommend.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Lead form if you're doing more lead gen, but Hayflow's nice and flexible. Although lead form, getting some fun new features. It's actually had so much. They ship like no one else. Incredible.
Yeah,
love it.
Their tech is
shout out to that dev team. such a shout out there.
Yeah.
Do such a good job.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Truly.
Do we have time for the final one? Well, final for fourth one.
I mean, well, we can super quick. High quality content. Is it worth the time?
I mean, you can it's a trap. You can be bogged down for months, and you can be like, we're going to put all this effort into doing that thing. When honestly, it is unlikely spending lots of time on one section of the landing page that is below the fold will be worth the incremental value. It is likely your time and resource could be spent better elsewhere, particularly when it comes to like this really, when something goes through multiple rounds of revisions, as be taking months to get live, like at that point, you should be aware that this was a mistake. You have done this poorly. Yeah, there are times to spend high quality, like a really high quality before and after case studies for like certain products. Super worth the time to make them really, really engaging. Make sure they are right at the top of the page though, so people engage with them. Like you only need really one of those. And again, like don't fixate over the wording or something. Fixate over how much wording there is. Like just like boil it down. Just like bullet point it out. If it's a paragraph,
layman's terms as well. Just like just conversational speech is really going to work. Obviously, if you're doing something like finance or some such, but generally speaking, people want it simple. They want to understand it. If it's just simple information that's presented well, then they're far more likely to actually digest that than if you have something that's convoluted, something that's big, something that's long, something that's clunky. So yeah, I think because it's high quality content, everyone automatically assumes, yes, this is worth it and this is worth all the time that we're doing it, because look at what a great piece of content that is. Sure. But actually, to be fair, that kind of content is, again, sort of, if we are talking about testimonials, they do go out of date quite quickly, which means that you would have to continue to keep producing this high quality content all of the time, which is very, very time consuming, very, very difficult. And again, it's probably not worth it when you can do something a little bit more quick and dirty and just get that out there. And done is better than perfect every single time.
80-20 rule.
Yeah, that's right. So
like
definitely
deliver more and test more. Use the time to test more and get more creative rather than just getting more granular like that.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week about the key behaviors of like top performing, like really like the best marketers in the world. The best marketers in the world that I know, they free up their time to be creative. They use automations to free up their time to be creative, so they can do a better job and test things more widely and use the data to do this. And use their creativity and the data-driven approach to do this. They do not assume they know what is best. Like they have again, best marketers in the world. Like, I think they've claim to fame in certain areas. Like generally, I think it's possible. But they are not like, this is what's going to be. So they think this might do, but they do not know. So they will test this, and they will test this, and depending on that, they will then iterate on all. So again, rather than taking this high quality content, like we'll make the best content, and then we're done here. No. Like test like 3 different ones and see what's test 3 quick ones with angles and like clear ones, and just like literally 3 lines of text, probably be more persuasive than a paragraph. So like do that approach instead. And just don't. It's just a trap. You can waste so much time on a test velocity, and like getting things done nearly always matters more. And also just clarity. Like for instance, you can write an incredible article. You know how you want to improve the click-through rate? Add something people can click on, which isn't a button. Like really, like a CTA is not that engaging. They're like, whatever. But add like tap here to like tap how many houses, or tap what your age badge is, or tap this. Now that's engaging. Like we've tested that recently. Like plus 40%. It's a good article, wild. Engaging, interesting. All the good stuff. And a map that people can click where they live, and that will give them a unique quote. That turns out that's how you that was. You're not going to rewrite the article for 40% uplift. Like, actually, maybe if you're like the world's God's gift at copy, but I would contest that.
Still, you would still need the person reading it to like appreciate that.
But everyone likes little things that they can click on. So
they
again,
do.
there are nearly always better uses of your time. Nearly always.
100%.
And I think again, I think it's worth reinforcing the final point regarding channel source really does matter. Different user journeys. We are talking mostly about meta traffic here. I think it's actually very true. These things are nearly like largely true in most cases. That's why testing matters, vertical matters, geography matters. And, we talk about these things as like, these are common misconceptions, and these things really are. However, industries are different. Be open to be wrong. And frankly, as and when you can, test it. Like, just don't assume. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
That's correct.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
We should move on now.
Let's get into fame and shame. So again, just a reminder, what we're going to be doing is health and safety compliance, which is quite interesting. And we've got some examples lined up. So without further ado,
all right.
Let's
so
jump
the
in.
first one is going to be Peninsula. So I'm just going to show, hang on, I need to share the page. It is like, these are quite interesting. And like, so health and safety is a very interesting one. It's actually quite a big B2B lead generation vertical. It's still very brand heavy. There's not that much from the comparisons really, but generally speaking, like, lots of things need health and safety. And so lots of people search for these things on Google, on Meta, on like all these platforms in order to capture that demand. So it's actually quite a big one. And you can go get accredited in health and safety, compliance actually quite easily. So it's actually quite a good, I know people have set up health and safety advisory businesses.
Yeah, I know someone who does it as well.
Course, and now they just like run the marketing and like that.
Well, he does it in Dubai, actually, the person that I know. It's really quite interesting. He went to Qatar recently. Yeah.
Wow. I get like
his Instagram stories are off the charts. But straight up, we've got 3 different user journeys off the bat. Speak to an expert, view services and pricing, and then just give us all your details. So looking at it, on the right-hand side, we've got that static form. At the top, it says speak to an expert now, which is aligned with the speak to an expert CTA. I would wonder if we click on that, if it's just going to go to a static form. No, it just goes to that. There you go.
Yeah. Which again really makes me wonder why on earth you've got that. I mean, actually, no, like CTAs are nearly always worth it. But like, you should, that visual bit, like, it helps people.
But then you just want to have one CTA. If you are going to have a CTA like that, that's supposed to be like engaging and kind of what you can imagine a CTA is sort of just like the marker of where you have to go and where you're trying to show someone this is your next step. This is what you want to be doing. You click here and this is how you continue. And the clearer that is, obviously, the more people that are going to click into that journey. But here, the fact that you have on the right-hand side with that big color situation behind it, that's like that's the first thing that I looked at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. I quite like this.
I love it. I think that color is gorgeous. I do not hate that at all.
Yeah, it's cool.
I did not look at that left-hand side at all. I
mean, I do think as a whole, this is actually, it's annoyingly close to being actually pretty good. I think. Like, I really like this. I think that's good. This is called, bit of social, awards. If you've got awards, always show them like this rating.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool as hell. Look at the headline: Health and Safety Services. Wow, so many people write like 20 paragraph, like a paragraph for a headline, just a line.
Well, unfortunately, they do have a paragraph underneath that. So if they could just bullet point that out, that would be nice.
Yeah, bullet points honestly really do work. Like, just have some tips or something.
Yeah,
but it's not so gratuitous. Like, frankly, considering how little copy there is, not terrible. There are too many, like this, like, oof, and static form. Oh, come on, just like, you don't have to do it. There are better ways to capture that demand and get them through there. And like, ask them like, what industry is your business in? Like, why are you interested in this? Like, are you experienced in this? Just ease them into it and be like, great, we know these things. Now you should speak to an expert because we know these things and we're going to really help you.
I quite like the I'm quite interested in that best number to call you on instead of just phone number.
Yeah, you know what? I actually agree. I don't think we've tested.
No, I would like we need to add that to the little black book of tests because that's quite interesting. It just feels a little bit softer, doesn't it?
Yeah. Just like, what's the best number? It's like, actually, maybe it's this. That's great.
Yeah, it really makes agree. It reframes it a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. 100%. I'm sharing my screen, so could you write that down?
Yeah, let me write that down.
I will continue. Just also submit button below the fold. Like, I get like they'll find it. And like, I get that it has to be this big because of what this, but like, yeah, the amount of space you have on desktop is really quite limited after the header, like all this, like you really have to be strategic about it. But yeah, and honestly, just like a simple yes, no question to get a multi-step form would definitely be better here. And we'll continue on desktop for now. This is fine. I mean, yeah, I think, if they're, I think it's fine. I think maybe having social proof here would be better. I'm not sure. And like, this is a lot of clicks
To
out and
learn
journeys. Like,
more.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a different user journey again.
Yeah.
I think I don't hate it in the sense of this is a very high, you probably, there's probably an element of education because people that come into this probably don't know really much about it and they probably want to learn a little bit. So I think I could see this kind of working, but I
Yeah.
think it's a little bit, like, I mean, we'll click on one of these later and see where that takes us. Health and safety made easy. I mean, again, I think the paragraph is kind of pointless, but nice clear
Yeah.
headline. Ooh, okay, it keeps going.
We're getting into like a lot of text, aren't we?
I mean, this. Oh, I don't know about having price here either. It's getting like again, it's what we see often where you're like we're trying to mix it up. So I guess if like they're like, oh, if this part didn't really convince them,
Yeah.
how about you learn more? Then how about you start with a safe check instead? What about that option? And instead, like it's like messaging. Good messaging is just the same thing over and over again. Like politics, like they just say the same thing over and over again. They're just there to get a message across. That's what your landing page should do. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Maybe having pricing, generally speaking, pricing is not best practice. Like if it's consultative, then yeah, they probably don't know what everyone else is charging. They're probably not that price sensitive at this point.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, showing price at this point. If someone's just come to you first of all, if they, you're the first link that they've clicked, they don't know. So what that encourages them to do is to then go out of this, go back to Google, go and find another person or another company that's offering this, and then look at their pricing and do that comparison.
Bang on.
And that's why we don't want to have prices in this part of it. You can do it arguably in different ways, but not like that.
Agreed. We will look at on mobile in a moment, but like this is gonna be overwhelming text on mobile.
And we have another CTA that does not speak to an expert now. It's a free advice call. So we're mixing CTAs as well, which is again.
I guess I just wondered like one of these user journeys must work. And again, it's just
exactly. It's sort of throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks. And and I think that the level of it comes off just that little bit. I don't want to say desperate, but I don't have another word but a little bit desperate. Like I really want you, and that's almost off-putting for someone, as opposed to just being like, I actually having the kind of that being all suave and being like, I actually know this is sort of what you want, and like leading them by the nose and just doing that. So I think it's sort of it's a power dynamic. Either you have the power and you're leading them through something as a company and you're kind of providing them something which is good and which is, or you're just giving the power to the person to just look at everything and be like, nah, I don't want it.
Yeah. I will also say, I actually really like this part. I think it makes an incredible question. But like, why are you interested? Considering this, experiencing an issue, dealing with an urgent problem. That would be a great question one. Like, wow. Like, wow, they actually, that like, now that's a good question one. I don't hate the design here, but again, I just don't think it's the most effective way of doing this. And yeah, again, like you don't put CTAs next to each other either. Like this, like, come on. This bar should be at the top. Like that should be underneath here. Social proof is really effective. Stack it at the top. Then like really like I don't, this definitely shouldn't be here. I don't. This looks like a different
on the fence about that.
So yeah, this.
I mean, maybe out. Just like make it shorter, maybe make it easier.
This should be lower down. This is like consideration. Like this should be again. These sound like silly, stupid little change, but they're really not. Like these things, and you maybe it's just 5% gain from just moving that content down. But like 5% over 100K every month. I mean, like it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Health and safety management made simple. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. Free demo. Now we're getting real creative. But okay. Yeah. Point test again. I mean, these are cool. They should be higher up. I don't know if this is the same thing. Either offer us just like either safe check is like what you're offering, and so like that should be like I don't know what. Yeah, yeah, it's yeah. I don't like it. I hope. Sorry, apologies. I said yeah a lot of time, but I don't like it because it seems like an alternative offer that doesn't seem to align with this. Are these the same thing? I don't know. Like again, it's adding
And we're
that
not going to find
confusion.
out.
Yeah, we're not, but we are
No.
going to set the page and look at mobile because now, yeah, definitely too much text in mobile. Effective,
Yeah.
nice and simple.
Yeah.
That's
It
cool.
needs a
Speak
bit
to an
more
expert.
padding, to be fair. Like, it's all
Yeah, it's a
quite sort
little.
of
I mean,
close
maybe let me
together,
just
isn't it?
refresh the page. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, because it
Yeah.
does it the way we do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, 2
yeah. I mean, that's
CTAs.
needs better balancing. Two CTA, like,
Yeah.
and let's see if we see if you. No, sorry. But
Oh,
if
not
you
good.
services and pricing, well, it actually goes to request. Oh, are these the same? Speak to an expert is a
No.
booking for like this.
Yeah.
Do you services and pricing go to a chatbot? I don't love a chatbot. I'll be honest. I don't. I've rarely seen them win. Oh, but it's interesting. Oh, but you just, I don't think people actively. God, it's really taking a long time to load. I guess me clicking in and out of it was not its friend. Yeah, motor phones might be better. Okay. This is not what was offered. Want to see what percent that again, no, I wanted to know about services and pricing. So that felt like an educational journey. And now this is not. But again, at least it's one user journey. Um, you know, and speak to an expert again. Maybe that should go. I think it should go to Motorset form.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, and it's clearly too much text on mobile.
Yeah. Far
Any
too
other?
much.
Like this part, it's just visible on this device,
Yeah.
which is the right device to be using. The brand bar, I often say on mobile like that, clearly doesn't quite work.
Yeah.
Often have like a double brand bar on mobile because particularly when things scroll, they don't work as well on mobile. There's just less space to like show more of them or have it static.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so one. They're offering too many things here. That's the main issue. They just need to boil it down.
Yeah.
I do wonder maybe this is a organic page and it reads like one. It's a bit, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
it's not, maybe it's been built specifically for this one, but it's got too many user journeys. Just boil it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I agree.
Shall we check it? I mean, overall, I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
No.
I don't, I think it
There's
could be
just those
improved.
little bits and pieces that are like that room for improvement. And again, it's really just about, and we did talk to this earlier, like just editing things out, just boiling things down, just sort of take it. See, this is a really good example of like more content is going to convince a user. And this is just not the case. What's happening is you're offering too many things, you're making it confusing, you're actually making it more difficult for someone to convert than you would be if you just had a very simple user journey.
Yeah, agreed. And I do think again on organic page, it may well perform better, that more exploratory journey. For paid traffic, probably no. I don't think
exactly.
so. This one.
Ooh, look at that.
Now that is to the point.
Yeah, I've got minor critiques. We need we need testimonials, or we need some logos. We need some sort of social proof here, like that little white spot, like the lighter part underneath that.
This again, this is the social proof, but it doesn't stand out. You can't.
No. Show me the awards. What awards?
I know. Hell, doesn't say. Again, so the double, that's not the right way to do this. But again, it is simple, it is bold, it is effective. They do need social proof elsewhere, and the awards.
It's much nicer to look at. It's much simpler to understand. We need to bullet point out that information. We need to have actual visual logos or badges of their awards, of like what they're doing, all of that. Again, we have 2 CTAs. Yeah, sorry.
This would be worth the effort here. Like this is not like high quality content or just like visualize it. Different things.
Yep.
Get free professional advice today. Like that's really all this is saying. The rest is supporting information that should be conveyed elsewhere. And then I would actually really like that. If that was just like, 80 plus years experience, 14,000 businesses helped, awards, like showed all the awards. Like, I mean, who's not clicking on that? I mean, that'd be,
Exactly.
and then just get free professional advice today. Like to the point.
Yes.
That's what they're going to want. Well done. I mean, again, close, but,
so close. So close.
We're going to look at this. I mean, again, relatively simple. They're keeping, they've clearly trimmed, and like, I like they're making it visual. They're doing this, like not terrible, get safety advice. So they're kind of providing these alternative journeys. Again, keep your CTAs the same. Noise there. Get free advice, get in touch today, get safety advice. Just the same message over and over really does work.
Yeah.
Ooh. Again, I really...
Wow, look at that. They even have a free text field for how can we help. Not like that. Not like that.
Not like that. Because
people don't like filling in things like that. And when you just have some sort of free question of like, okay, just give us all of this information, people don't know what to write. They don't know how much to write. It's very overwhelming. It's very uncomfortable to do. If you're on a mobile trying to do this, it's even worse. And this is why we would never recommend having that kind of free text field. It does sometimes work if you have it as like optional at a certain point in the journey. We have seen that like, offering that and people fill it out, then you really know you have a high intent lead, and that's really, really good for lead quality. However, straight off the bat like that, it's just going to harm.
If that's like the main thing you want to capture information on, like no, like again, it works right at the end of like a long question set as an optional thing for lead scoring and like identifying your really high value leads. But if that's like meant to be like give me the information that's going to help us contact and do whatever, it's just not it.
It's a bit lazy. It's sort of just not like putting the effort in to actually ask questions and help sort of qualify and meet them halfway. It's just saying, tell us everything so that we can sell to you. And that just doesn't feel like a fun journey.
This should probably go below the fold. Like, as in, like,
100%.
should probably be here. Like, it's kind of cool. It's that it's where they're starting to visualize it. I know, again, I really understand that best practice is to have this lower down. It's always like that. Like this, you see this time and time and time. And I've had this conversation so many times. But nearly always just putting it towards the top. It just does do better. And it's I like the little design part. Like, it's having a bit more of a crack. It's got the, discrete Google thingy, like it's cool. And then that's it. That's all the content. Like, well cut down. And now we've got the awards. Like, come on.
They should be up,
so I think
up the top, up the top.
I dislike this chatbot, but it's discrete. It's discrete, which is a lot better because usually they're like,
I hate that. I hate that.
They really get to me. Let's inspect. Let's have a look through them. We'll click on some journeys. I mean, it again highlights the need to cut it down. But
yeah, we need to have that bullet point, like just little points, and then like visualize, give us some logos, give us some badges, get those testimonials up there. Again, I think that like there's a little bit that if we scroll down to sort of the information that comes after those pictures, if we can bullet point that out or make that sort of smaller, that would be so much better because that is a lot of text, a lot of quite small text as well. Difficult to read.
Font size?
Yeah.
Font 18. Okay.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. Take it.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
but I think this is really well done. Like,
I think it's
overall,
been well. Yeah.
It's considered. It's been well considered. I think there's a few tweaks, and I think there's a few high impact tests that you can do, especially with regards to cutting that down, getting the like logos and the testimonials at the top, getting rid of a static form, absolutely getting rid of that free text field, and asking people to just explain things. Also, like, what are you supposed to say in that? Even I want to become a health and safety officer, or I need consultancy. Like, it's so, like, I don't know. Like, what do you say?
They're going to say, like, I need health and safety for my factory of 50 people. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah. Well, that's, you can ask a question, like.
You can. And like for these things like health and safety consultancy, risk assessment, again, this is a question. Like, because again, the reason I'm putting this here is that, there's different things that people care about. Yes, exactly. And so you want to provide the information.
Figure that out in a multi-step form.
That should be in a multi-step form. Again, like it will be conveyed better. It will be, people will care about it more. It'll be more engaging like this. it's just not it. And also, like, if I get safety advice, it's just going to take me to the form, isn't it? It's going to make me so sad, so mad. I mean, all of them are going to go to like why bother having different CTAs, guys? Like, if they're all going to go to the same journey, like, people are going to click them and find out. Well, they probably won't click them. Let's be honest. Big free consultation. Call us now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, a phone call. A phone line, like, click to call. Not bad. I don't hate it as an alternative user journey. I probably would remove this though, because we just got up there. And
exactly. We don't need to double down on that one, I don't think.
Cool though. Good. Better. We're getting
Not
better.
bad. Better than what we're getting better.
Yeah. Okay. Final page. I'm not gonna lie, I am quite pleased with these pages. So this last one, I feel we've seen the whole journey here. It's great. I'm really okay. Are we ready? Are we? Let me just check. Yeah, okay.
I hope so. Let's do it.
Let me hard refresh it because something just popped up. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna leave the page. So now we are reading this. Then what's gonna happen? We're gonna get the pop up that just happened? Did I have to click elsewhere? They can be triggered on things. Boo. Maybe if I click away, then come back. No. Okay. Well, it may well come back up.
Wow.
So what do we think?
It's like so close and yet so far, in a way.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
classic.
There are so many elements. Yeah, there's so many elements. Like having those little boxes: 93% less likely, 72% less likely, 11 million. Great idea. Great concept. Visually, we could probably optimize that. But great. Bullet points. Fantastic.
Yeah.
However, I think shortening to the H&S solutions, I would just do 50K instead so that I could actually say health and safety.
Yeah.
Or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would prefer to have health and safety just written out. I mean, that's a really small thing to really care about, but at the same time, it just makes that recognition a lot easier.
A headline should say the product category.
Exactly.
For paid marketing, it should say, like, it's not like H&S, like that almost reads like a brand thing. So H&S solutions. Oh, are you H&S? I thought it's citation. So it should be health and safety. And then 5,000 businesses. Again, that should be like a cool little visualized element.
Yeah.
This is cool. This should be lower down. This is not where this should be. This is probably one too many bullet points.
Again, and all of that clumped together, those 93%, and then the bullet points. They're good concepts, but putting them together doesn't work. This doesn't function, I don't think, cohesively. I think it's just sort of, it's a bit much.
They're onto the right lines, but they really need help with design. And also, so they have not optimized around they're assuming desktop is larger than it is, because that should be visible above the fold. I mean, I think this probably shouldn't even be here, because you're just saying the same things again. It should be conveyed more concisely and effectively. But I really like that it's not, you just got, again, I want to bet very good money. This converts better than most of the other pages, because
they need to change that pink though, because that is unbelievably painful for the eye on that black background or that charcoal background. Oof.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that they've got these testimonials and things. However, I think it feels a little bit just written. Could we maybe get some logos of the brands that these are? Could we get just like a little bit more to make it look just slightly more legitimate, I think. And then again, we need like a multi-step form, or we need something else rather than just a static form.
You know what? I'm going to put it out here is that the first health and safety advisory company that actually starts adopting multi-step forms will become the new big player in like 5 years' time.
Like Lemonade with insurance, like literally changed the game.
All they did was just like made it an online multi-step journey to sign up instead of reading pages of stuff. Like, it's just what's going to happen. And it does make me a little like citation, honestly. I mean, I would
love to design.
Great.
Love to design a page. Oh,
and I get PPC, you need some writing on it, but like, God, like.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, it does make me fizz, and that annoys me, by the way. Like that is, like, again, quick and dirty. Yes, that is just poor. Again, there are such a thing as standards. God, but I think a level is important. okay, mobile, slightly less, it's a bit more, yeah.
Again,
I mean, it's
having
still
all of
too,
these elements together, it doesn't really work. If we had it a
uh,
little bit more
just too
streamlined,
much,
then it would
isn't it?
work. Yeah.
Like, yeah,
And
again,
then,
they're so close. Hmm?
yeah, so close. Well, having just that static form down the bottom, no one's scrolling there, probably,
Mm.
to be
I mean,
fair.
they probably will because like they're gonna have to, but they're not gonna be, like they're like, oh
Yeah.
god, to do that, I need to read this, I need to go back up, and
Yeah.
like, if you ask, and then
Ooh, that doesn't look nice at
it's
all.
not wonderful. I thought, I love this. 200. Whoever's done this really understands people, but they just they don't
They're
quite understand
so
conversion.
close.
Yeah.
They're
It,
so close. It just needs a little bit of sort of an upgrade, just like a little bit of
mm,
changing things around. Love it, but yeah, we need to have that
yeah.
multi-step top form at the multi-step form at the top. We need to get that health and safety written out in the headline. Just have like one CTA, have a couple of these like really nice our client
Yeah.
results, have those testimonials, have the testimonials with logos and just looking a little bit more legitimate
Yeah.
than sort of just written out.
Yeah.
And this would absolutely kill it. Like
Yeah.
this would smash it,
Absolutely.
honestly.
And also, again, just have like, but maybe people don't know what we're talking about when say multi-step forms. But like, just imagine a big button here, like yes, no, and then a question that says, I don't know, like, is this your first time looking into health and safety? Like, do you need it urgently? Yes, no, or like, what are you interested in? Was it support, advice, urgent issue, other?
Yeah.
And then like you can get into it, and then you can
And then you can ask, how big is your company? When do you need it done? Like all of
Ourselves will
these
thank you
different
for that.
things. Yeah.
Instead of them having to look up this, the company, and scraping this and that, the other, like, just again, just, yeah. So, I must say, it's ironic that this one is so interesting though, right? Like from
Yeah.
the beginning to
Fully.
the end, it'd be
Yeah.
so different. But I do think this is the one that, I, ironically, I think almost certainly performs best for PPC. And also, I will say it's the only one that had PPC in the URL. So almost
Yeah.
certainly, that is a paid, that like, do you want, I'm going to go back to sharing it because it's a really, really, really powerful example of like, this is a paid landing page while done poorly. Well, not done poorly, but I didn't done a little poorly, but this is a paid landing page that will probably be better than this, which is done
Yeah.
really, really well, but
100%.
just has the wrong things in there.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I think
And
this could be done.
far too much content.
Yeah,
Far too much
again,
content.
this is an organic thing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And you just boil it down. Again, let's go back to this one as well. Share this tab. Which again, I think this one maybe is like the mix of
It's
the
the happy
two.
medium, but I still prefer that last one because it was
Yeah.
just so to the point. It had sort of all that information that you want to have, and it just didn't overwhelm with 14 different customer journeys and CTAs.
It just really didn't help with the design. I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah,
100%.
please, whoever, for the first health and safety, that we're going to throw down the mantle, the first health and safety person to actually integrate multi-step forms a la Lemonade and other, Voy or and like just all the people up and coming competitive brands that are doing well, to check them out, probably using a multi-step form. They will probably be the next big one because you will acquire and capture online demand much more effectively, and particularly through social media, because those channels will be successful. Trust me, I've run so much B2B marketing through social media, through like Meta, to a form that just has a multi-step form. And you're finding new traffic that other people aren't. It's profitable, it's low competition, all that good stuff. So yeah, there will be the streets paved with gold. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, on that note, it's almost been an hour. So in the interest of brevity, we're going to say thank you very much. If you're still listening, which, stands to debate, please comment the void and we will do a free funnel audit for you. Kind of similar to what we just did with the Hall of Fame and Shame, but a little bit more geared towards actually sort of giving you optimization tips and really understanding, where people potentially are dropping off. So please do. Thank you very much. As always, it's been a pleasure, and talk to you next time.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.